Good evening. Welcome to Politically Incorrect. Let me tell you who's here tonight. Valerie Harper has come by to see me one more time.
Betcha. I wouldn't miss it, honey.
Oh, bless you. I know you were just a big hit on Broadway, and now you're bringing The Tale of the Allergist's Wife, a new play, out here to the LA's Amundsen Theater, June 26th, opening night. Thank you for being back.
My pleasure.
Tom Fitton, I don't know how many times you've been here. You're the president of Judicial Watch, but I welcome you back one more time. Thank you, my friend. Peter Stormare, very busy. Bad Company, a movie coming out this summer.
Sir.
Wind Talkers, Minority Report. Is that enough movies for you? And you also got a band, Blonde from Fargo, touring Europe this summer. Okay, and Tim Stack, star of my favorite comedy on TV. Nobody sees it because it's on FX, but maybe now.
Hilarious.
They will.
Maybe
It's
now.
hilarious. Son of the Beach, new season starts June 18th, 10 o'clock on FX. You got to see this show. Give a hand to our panel, if you will. Now, I wanted to mention at the top of the show, last night I announced that I was joining the 21st century and got a website.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, it's called billmaher.tv. And the response, I had no idea these things work so fast, or that people used the thing for anything other than helping them to masturbate. But apparently they do, and I thank you all. The heartwarming response, it was overwhelming. Okay, so I guess we're, and if you want to log on, that's how you do it. Leave a message at, I have to look at the card, Bill Maher.
TV? TV.com.
.tv, that's how new I am.
.tv.
Yeah, .tv, whatever that means. Anyway.
They'll offer some great porno on there.
You'll have to find
You are loved and appreciated, and that's your folks' community. You have to answer the emails, though.
I will.
Okay.
No, I am totally committed to this whole thing.
Good. It's good you're going off the air.
I am.
It's not a wife, Bill. It's just a website.
All right. So let's talk about the Catholics, because they're big. Everyone was anticipating what they were going to do, and now they've started their big enclave. They're down in Dallas as of today to talk about what they're going to do about the big sex scandals. Anybody here raised Catholic like I was?
Yes.
Oh, 4 out of 5.
Well, not raised. Of 7 to 15. I became a Catholic at about 7 years old, and then till I was 15.
I think everyone probably thinks of you as
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Jewish because you play. That's acting.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. I would never have guessed you were Catholic. Okay, so I was.
I am.
And you still are. And here's what I want to talk about tonight. While this story is going on, the other story with kids and sex is going on, which is R. Kelly was arrested the other day.
Good guy. Keep up. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, his new record is good. Nobody will say it's a good record because in America, you can never keep two opposing thoughts in your mind at the same time. It would be impossible for a guy who's a pedophile to also have a good record out, but it is a good record. Anyway, here's the other thing I think people can't keep in their minds. They keep comparing the two. And I don't think there's a comparison.
Comparing?
Well,
R.
with priests, with R. Kelly.
No, he did, last time I looked, the rap artists were not taking vows of celibacy. You know,
well,
right? I mean,
yeah, but the comparison is that he's having sex with underage,
okay, that's all right.
which is not kosher. We are not. I certainly am not defending having sex with a 14-year-old girl, but there is a real difference between a groupie coming to you and a priest saying a little more lotion on Father Tom.
That's funny. That's funny.
Not funny to the kid.
Well, obviously, the priests have made vows, and they're having sex with children. They should not be having sex with anyone, let alone children. But the similarities, if there are any, is that it points to the general problem in society of the sexualization of children. And as long as you have children constantly being sexualized in our culture, you're going to have the R. Kellys, and frankly, you're going to have priests succumb to it as well. And that's a real problem that we might try to prevent.
That's what I object to, when people say it in the same breath.
Well, obviously, a priest who makes a vow of celibacy to God technically marries...
Who cares about celibacy and his God? I care about the kid.
But the point is, he makes promises, and parents put their children in their care expecting nothing like that's going to happen. R. Kelly, if you're letting your daughter hang out with R. Kelly, you're going to have some expectations of problems.
But the daughter went to the... I mean, 14-year-old girls, you know, they shouldn't be having sex probably with anybody. If they do, it should be a 14-year-old boy. But certainly, they went to that concert looking for R. Kelly. 14-year-old boys are very rarely looking for a priest to have sex with them.
Well,
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Because when I put on that priest outfit and cruise Santa Monica Boulevard, they never approach me.
No, they...
Now, let me, Tom, you said something, and I really sort of get upset when you sort of generalize about this exposing our youth to sex, and it's all part of the generation.
Right.
We had 2 pedophile priests come through my parish in Pennsylvania, and they always called themselves by their first name, incidentally. You know, it's Father Ted or something.
Like hairdressers used to go Mr. John or
Yeah,
Mr.
Right.
Nick. Yeah.
And what they do, they're pedophiles. They are criminals. And unlike R. Kelly, who's just a horn dog, these people are criminals. And they need to be treated like criminals.
Well, I agree.
So, but to bring it in like it's all part of this sexualization of
Well, it doesn't excuse,
No,
their
yeah.
behavior, or R. Kelly's behavior, or the priest's behavior, to point out that children are sexualized, and it has consequences.
Yes, but it seems like in America we have lost the skill to discriminate. You know, that became such a bad word, discriminate. It's not a bad word. It means just to tell unlike things apart. I'm not saying R. Kelly is innocent. He's not. But it is a whole different kettle of fish.
Well, who's making this comparison, Bill?
Oh,
in the media?
I've heard it on the news. I've heard people said it in conversation.
I got you.
It's just,
Well,
it's just natural when there's 2 stories about kids and sex and people, you know, in the age of zero tolerance and all this kind of stuff.
But we don't know if he's guilty, do we?
We don't know if R. Kelly is guilty.
Yeah?
I guess there's a video, right?
I've seen it.
It's not him on the video.
Seen the video.
Yes.
And I've heard he urinates on this girl.
Yes.
Is that true?
Talk about going straight to #1. But you know...
Okay.
It's not him in the video. It's not him in the video, that's what it says. And the girl is saying it's not she.
Because when you say the
you don't know.
That's a different
sexualization of...
question. That's trial in the media. That's a different question.
Yeah,
I guess
but
the idea is...
Somebody else told me something interesting the other day. My friend Scott Carter, you know him. Some of you, he used to produce the show. He said he was watching the Sunday morning talk shows with his little girls, like 4 years old, his daughter, and they were talking about this upcoming priest conclave, bishop's conclave, and they got into the whole subject of what's going on in the Catholic Church. And he said, I couldn't help but think about all the Catholic guests we had during the Lewinsky scandal, who said, you know what, I can't watch the news with my child because of what Bill Clinton has done in the White House. Well, now I guess you can't watch the news because of what the Catholic Church is doing.
Well,
you can't sit your kid down in front of that news either.
You shouldn't say that. It is not the Catholic Church.
Well,
You're right.
It is, there are a minority of priests, individual priests, who've committed a grave wrong, and to condemn the entire Catholic Church is
Whoa.
a slander.
But wait a minute, the graver
please.
wrong, if I may, Tom,
And a criminal act, as we say.
the graver wrong is the cover-up.
Right.
Thank
The
you.
Enron thing of these men in
Yes.
power
Right.
who would save their corporate...
And that is an outrage.
It's
And they
making
ought to leave
the
too.
church
But you
into
can't
a
throw the baby out with the
corporation.
and to make it sound like
makes
it's
a lot
just
of
a
Catholics
few.
sick.
You know, that's what they say
It's
about,
too
you know.
many. One is too many.
Well, yeah, but it's not one.
not one.
And it's not a few.
There are
It's a culture cultivated in the Catholic Church. So it is the Catholic Church.
It is not the Catholic Church.
You know
There's
what?
nothing- there's
That's the
nothing
same
in-
baloney that I hear about the terrorists and Islam. You know what? It's just a few terrorists.
Right. You
No,
wanna
it's a
compare the Pope
culture.
to the terrorists of September 11th, you can go ahead and do that, but I would beg to differ. What you have here is a culture, a subculture of homosexuals within the church
And it's not
that
just
were led on
homosexuals.
by liberals, let in by liberals like you, Bill, who shared your philosophy on these attitudes.
What?
And we did that.
You
And we did
now
that.
are responsible for the pedophilia.
It's your fault.
Priests.
That's right. Me and my
And it's-
liberal cadre
and it's
your
not-
fault.
on
Tom,
Santa Monica Boulevard.
I'm tired of all the talking homosexuality.
Well, it
the
is
truth is,
homosexual
wait a minute,
problem.
wait a minute, wait a minute. You have a heterosexual priest who does not practice sexual behavior with women. You have a homosexual priest who does not.
That's true.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it
neither are
isn't
supposed
about that. It's about the celibacy. Is that a,
Right.
a
In Latin
vow?
America,
And
the problem might be heterosexual. In America, it happens to be homosexual.
Well, it's
I don't know that it
pedophiles,
is.
and
Have you got the
pedophile
numbers
is
on that?
different.
It tends to be.
A lot of
I've
girls
seen it.
have been
Yeah, I
abused
mean,
as well.
in Latin America, when priests break their vows, it tends to be heterosexual in nature. In America, unfortunately, it tends to be homosexual.
It's like
in nature.
90%. My
Is it
kids and I
really?
were watching the news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well-
it is that.
I only wish my kids would watch the news.
Well, whatever it
Is whatever it is.
it is the fault of the Catholic Church, right up to the
Certain
top.
leaders,
The cover-up.
Excuse
leaders
me.
have no excuse. That's
So,
true.
like when they said we got to, you know, you got to get rid of Bill Clinton because kids can't watch the news. You
I
know,
get rid of
all
Bill
I'm saying
Clinton,
is that
get
we
rid
should
of-
get rid of the Catholic Church so the kids can
But,
watch the
that's
news.
ridiculous.
Well, that's like
I know
saying,
it's ridiculous. I'm just saying it's
No,
not
what's
ridiculous. Is
ridiculous?
what they said about
But no, you're saying like let's get rid of government. I think the point is you've got to get rid of these certain people, and it's got to start over in Rome. That guy, I mean, the Pope is. The guy can't even eat soup. I mean, how is he going to make these decisions?
Well,
no, I'm sorry.
He can have sex. He can have sex.
His mind is still
really?
there.
Yeah, he has sex.
His mind is still there, and it's a question of whether individuals commit wrong behavior and whether you go after that. And if there's a culture that allows wrong behavior to prosper, that needs to be changed as well. But
you don't think there's a culture that is allowed?
There was a culture in certain areas of the church in America, but to say the Catholic Church is responsible for this is false.
The Catholic Church is responsible.
The Catholic Church in America allowed these bishops to move criminals from district to district. Right. I tell you, it burns me up awfully, and I think Catholics are very angry.
I am angry too.
You must be, Tom.
I wish they would put in a no
Catholic
tolerance.
families here.
Put in a no tolerance.
No tolerance. What is this?
They're allowing one. Yeah.
One is okay. One's a pass.
Okay,
oh, it makes me sick. I want to vomit.
It was little Brad. It's okay.
It's little Brad.
Yeah.
He can take it. He was going to be gay anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You're okay. We have to take a break.
Oh, God.
We'll take one. We'll be right back. Well, with the whole world watching, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops began their big meeting in Dallas to write a policy for dealing with sexual abuse from the clergy. Now, I don't know if Dallas was the right choice there. One of the locals suggested the problem could be solved by having pedophile priests ride mechanical altar boys. I don't know. Okay, so,
well, you know, can I say one thing on our last segment
please.
real fast?
Wait, this isn't our last segment, is it?
No. I mean, we're going into a new subject.
They canceled me again.
But no, you'll be back before your head spins.
Thank you.
You'll be back.
Well,
no, what I was going to say quickly about the priest, maybe this that they're not saying zero tolerance is the corporate mind saying we don't have enough priests. So we have to kind of keep. Is that possibly an ingredient?
Totally.
I think anything's possible. The point is, it's wrong.
Totally wrong. But I wondered if that's what, because it seems so crazy to do that.
And that is the culture that we're talking about. That is so much of the problem.
Save the corporation no matter what.
Save the corporation no matter what. And also, what you just said, they don't have enough priests because not a lot of guys want to go into this profession, even if they want to help.
Well, and even less will want to now.
That's,
my cousin's a priest. He came to the wrap party of our show. He said, whatever you do, don't tell anybody what I do. Oh. And I felt so bad. He's a great guy.
And I've heard guys on the television saying that they wanted zero. That is
time for big cleansing of the Catholic Church.
Yes, it is. It's a real possibility.
They've been in power for 2,000 years, and it doesn't come from the Vatican. It comes from this country. It proves, you know, the great thing about this country to you. Because it's got to fall. It's 2,000 years. You know,
it's got to change.
Yeah, like a power machine. They killed so many millions of people, and they kept it like this under pressure. And it's finally, it's out. It's out in the open. It comes from this great country that I'm part of.
Peter's Scandinavia, where it's like sex at 8 years old.
Hey.
Hey. And everybody's healthy.
Hey, 200 years ago, you should be married to have 3 kids by the age of 18. Otherwise, you were a loser.
Yeah. That's right. Times change. You're absolutely right. So it's an opportunity for the church to really clean itself up. I hope it does. I hope it does.
But it won't, because it never has to. You don't think
God is with it, it will.
Oh, please.
It is. I mean, it's Catholics believe God is with the church, and it isn't going to fall because
500
politicians.
500 years ago, the Protestant Reformation started because the Catholic Church was basically selling tickets to heaven.
And guess what? It cleaned itself up.
It did?
It did.
Really?
Yes.
The Catholic Church cleaned itself up.
Yes, it has.
Followed by the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Having sex with children.
That was always wrong. You know,
helping the Nazis.
They don't have to clean.
The fact that Catholics in power, Catholic prelates or whatever, engage in immoral behavior does not go to the underlying truths of the church, which is the teachings of Jesus.
You are absolutely right. And I send my daughter goes to Catholic high school. I completely agree. And I think they will. But they got to get on it, and they got to get on it.
It's a good political debate.
They won't clean up this for the same reason they never had to address the child issue. Because when you have religion on your side, when you have the ultimate answer, You don't have to explain anything, especially since no one can really check up on the answer. You don't think the priests, when they had these kids, played the Jesus card to get them to do what they wanted?
I'm sure they did.
Sure they
It makes
did.
it even more evil.
Jesus wants you to
Makes
help
it very
Father
evil.
Tom relax.
It makes it all more evil. It makes it more evil.
Yes.
Right. So that's...
So what's your point?
point-
It's wrong.
my
We
point
agree
is-
it's wrong.
Yeah.
It ought to be cleaned up.
No.
I don't want to
Now's an
destroy the. I don't want to
What
destroy
we're arguing
God's
about is
church
you said they
environment.
will clean up, and I
And they
said they
will.
never will. They never have, and they never will, because when you are selling something, nobody can check up on. If I'm selling a car here, you can't ride in it. You can't see what it's actually
Catholic
like.
Church is made up.
I could
priests,
tell you
lay people.
anything.
Tim Stack sending his kids to Catholic school is going to be as good a way of checking up on, make sure this is done, as anything the priests and the bishops do. And the laity will have a role in this. The people like you and me who go to church every Sunday or try to, and that's the way it will clean
People
up.
for thousands of years, because it is the church, believe whatever they tell
But
them.
maybe
They
it'll
gotta-
change. Maybe this will be. Maybe this is the moment, Peter.
Yeah, people today,
As Peter said.
they don't think they will go to hell if they don't do what,
As long as
Father
people,
Ted
as
did.
long as
I
human...
think in this country, I think it is different outside of here. And the church is so powerful outside of the United States. But because of the media here, because everything comes through here, I do think it's going to have to change. Otherwise, it's
And in
not
terms of
going
women,
to.
absolutely.
And
It has to
But
change.
as long as human beings think that other human beings know something about the afterlife that they don't, nothing is ever going to change.
No.
Why would somebody know something you don't about what happens after you die? Because he's got a pointy hat. Really, that's why it is.
Well,
It's like,
that is-
hello, I'm wearing a robe and a pointy hat. Of course I know what happens when you die.
But you have a parallel.
Of course.
Good point.
All right.
Yeah,
But I have to
good
take a
point.
break. We can come back. A Florida high school is courting controversy because their yearbook, get this, includes a section for the pregnant students, complete with sonogram pictures. Wow. By the way, they also have a section dedicated to girls who had sex and then got an abortion. It's called the cheerleaders. So that is the issue I want to talk about. I can't believe this. I have a picture of the yearbook. There's a girl, and it says, "I am Stacy Pauly. I am a mama. I am happy. I can't watch scary movies alone. I like chimpanzees and puppies. I love playing with my baby. I am Stacy Pauly." I would call that a glorification of getting pregnant in high school.
Yeah.
There is nothing in there that suggests responsibility or...
And it's off purpose in terms of school. School is, you get a diploma for certain things, and whatever happens in your life, if the girl hangs in and finishes school and has a baby, fine, but I don't know that it has anything. I think it's apples and oranges.
It is an extracurricular activity.
Definitely. And a big responsibility.
All the pictures of the fathers are like this.
Yeah. Are there pictures of the fathers in there?
No,
There's no guys in that.
Yeah,
And they're showing sonograms?
probably in the
But
section.
they don't have pictures of your mother and dad in there, so why would a relative in utero? I don't get it.
It's the sonogram club.
But I mean,
Oh, that's right.
Sonogram club.
Like
They
the
get once
chess
a week,
club.
they get
but
together.
I'm not usually in agreement with Tom that
But,
America is going to hell in a handcart morally. But I have to say, you know, you wouldn't see in a yearbook glorifying drunk driving or dropping out.
But where are the adults here saying, hey, this is not appropriate for a yearbook? And there's no adult supervision in our schools anymore.
Yeah,
You're going to get sued. If you did that, if that school system said we know pictures, they're going to get sued.
That's right.
But you got to bring it up in the open, because nobody here talks about sex at all in this country, and it's got to
5 minutes on this
I
program.
see what you're saying.
But it's
Yeah,
got to
you're
be
right.
out there. It's got to be, you know, you can't just throw in condoms in a classroom and run out as a teacher. It's got to...
Oh, well, I tell you, the girls...
You know, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
How would it be done in Scandinavia?
Well, we have sex. No, but you have to educate people. If you don't talk about it, there's no education.
Right.
It's got to be out there. If it's in a yearbook, cool.
Well,
they did it themselves.
I like that it's not a shame. I like that the girl is not shamed, has to drop out, and can't graduate with a
Really,
class.
there should be no stigma for getting knocked up at 15.
But
No
that's
stigma
law.
at
No,
all?
But there's
not,
laws.
not on the girl. I'm so sick of hearing.
She shouldn't have-
She got herself pregnant.
Right.
No. I'd like to say a few words about erections. I mean, really, that gets us into a lot of trouble. And I think, and then there's the right saying no birth control for these kids,
but
you know. And condoms don't do it for girls.
Well,
they break.
Oh, condoms don't break. Will people stop saying that on this show? I've been using them for 106 years.
Yeah,
I've never had one break.
You have the
So have
funny,
I.
the
And
funny.
they have.
Let's take a break now. We'll be back. Okay, blaming condoms for breaking is like people who say, I didn't get your message. Phone machines work, condoms work, people are liars.